Welcome everyone. So we are again here in Kiali community meeting. Today we are going just to show what we have done in the Spring 64. Tomorrow we are going to release the Kiali version 1.42, right? And today we are going to show the highlights that you will see in this version, the 1.42. Remember, the highlights and the review of the Spring 64 is recorded. And after the record, we have a non-recorded session with the community with open questions, comments, ideas. So, great. All right, so this is Spring 64, some of the highlights. First one comment, so this Spring was pretty focused on bug fixes, maintenance, docs Spring, so you will see too many new features, but you will see a lot of minor bug fixes, addresses, fixes, and probably just check it out if any of the issues that you reported are in the site, right? Besides that, we can show a couple of things. So a new enhancement or new feature is that the configuration tab in the service and application list is expanded. So I'm going to show also the gateway. So let me demonstrate this feature. So remember, in Kiali, is going to help you to associate, to see what Istio configuration is linked with any application of workloads. So, for example, before to uh, this feature, if one particular service was linked, typically one service is linked with a build per service or destination rule. But now with this feature, if any of these build per service has a link with a gateway, if the gateway is not directly linking to these services, but if you have a build per services which indirectly is showing on a gateway, so you will see this gateway also in the list, right? So this feature is pretty useful when you are, dealing with large population of services. Imagine that you have a couple of hundreds of namespace with a couple of hundreds of services, and you want to see, okay, all is the configuration for this workload. So it's something that now you can see just in the workload, the list of the Istio configuration that apply every of them, right? Also in the workload and also in, the high application. Remember, the application is a logical group of workloads and services. You can see, all the configuration involved, right? All right. So another feature. So the mirroring batch in the graph. So remember that when you apply configurations, the graph, so now the graph has the ability to batch and to highlight when you have a virtual service or destination rules inside, and also to highlight a specific scenario. So now in this sprint, you will see that if you have a mirror use case for this scenario will be highlighted. So let me demonstrate these features. For example, I'm going to go to here to the Travels demo application. I have a Travels application with 3 workloads, right? And in the Travels service, right? This one I'm going to soon. I'm going to create for example, a traffic shifting where all my traffic is load balancing into travel 1, travel 2, but I want to declare that the travel T is going to be a mirror, right? A mirror means that all the traffic is going to be load balanced explicitly in version 1, version 2, but the version 3 will be just a replica. It's just to duplicate the request in a mirror out of the flow, right? So we can create this configuration, and you will see here that, okay, we have a new batch here in the mini graph, right? That you have this service with Istio configuration, the traffic shifting as well, destination rules, mini graph, and you will see this graph as well, right, into this batch. Okay, so yeah, we have worked. The team has worked very hard and a lot for the new Kiali.io site, and I guess I'm going to pass the mic to Jay to demo and comment more about the new site. So Jay, would you like to share your screen?
Yes, and I'm assuming you can see it now.
Yes.
All right. So Yeah, one thing that tends not to get as much love as it should over time are the websites for the projects. We finally decided that it was time to put some effort there with an eye on a couple of things. We wanted to revise the content, which is sort of in progress, and we wanted to make it easier to make contributions. So with an eye on those two things, we decided to change the theme, which we've done, and this is out there live right now, even though the content will be getting updated more and more over the next couple of sprints. So in general, some of the main things to know are that we really wanted to feature the documentation, and so we've simplified the main nav. We can get you into the documentation quickly. We've maintained some of the things we used to have on the previous landing page, like being able to quickly link yourself to some of the features. We've tried to simplify the landing page, make it less wordy and so forth. You can still get down to the most recent blogs that we've published or the most recent videos like the ones we're recording right now from the bottom of the home page. And then you've got all your social media stuff down at the bottom too. As for the documentation, we're hoping that it's a lot nicer and well organized. It's got a sort of a more professional look to it. We now feature a left nav, and if you go into it on any particular page, you've got your right nav. So we got rid of all of that kind of clunky top table of contents type of information, type of way of doing things. Also, all of the content is now in Markdown, which I think people are a little more familiar with and easier to use. We had a mixture where before it was mostly ASCII doc, but there was also some Markdown mixed in. It's a lot more consistent. As for making contributions, there's some nice features where you can click edit this page or create child page. So if you're actually using the documentation, you see a mistake, you can actually click here, and if you don't have a fork, it'll help you make a fork. If you do, then it very quickly can create a PR against it to make updates and submit updates. So that's really nice. Also, we changed the way that we keep track of old releases. In the previous website, it was not done very well, whereas every release was adding to the one large amount of content that we had underneath the root, which meant that if you were trying to run the website locally and make edits, it took a long time to run to generate a local version, because it had to basically go to all the old versions and process that as well. Now every release is in a branch. You can still access the old version of the website. All of these links will bring you there because this is only the current is the current website. If I was to jump back to version 136, which backs up our Service Mesh 2.1 offering from Red Hat, you'll see that it goes back to the old website look and feel. And I think that is about all I wanted to say. Basically, just want to mention that it is updated and live, and hopefully it's going to be a lot easier for people to use and make contributions to. All right, thanks.
Thank you a lot, Jerry. Thank you a lot for the hard work of the team on this effort. So let me reshare again my screen. Let's continue with the features. Okay, so yeah, please go to the new Kiali.io, help us to improve the documentation. Now it's easier than ever. So let's continue with the features. So yeah, in this, one of the nice features that we introduced in this sprint is the ability to create or shoot trends into the metrics. So I guess I'm going to prepare a minor example, right? So yeah, remember that they have a cluster, a demo cluster with 5 namespace. I have several applications. Let me do show a very quick walkthrough about the features of Kiali. So I start in a travel control. This namespace gets all the traffic from outside of the cluster in a gateway, and also I can see all the dependencies of my graph just showing multi namespace graph, right? So if I go to the travels and I would like, for example, to enable the animation, I want to see, okay, so I see traffic, but I would like to get it into more details, how this traffic is flowing. I can go to the details, right? And in details of the page, we have just this summary, but we have also this inbound metrics, right? That we can see, how the Istio telemetry is reporting this information. So now we have this new feature that our colleague Edgar has been working on, and as you can see, the data time series can generate a synthetic trend line, right? And the trend line can help you to okay, where I need to focus, where it could be something that is not expected, right? For example, the request side of all the versions are working on the same way. I can use these trend lines in the span mode in the maximize view of the metric charts. I can also combine it with the spans. So now what you are seeing here are the correlated information for telemetry from the Istio, right? And now for a set of spans from the tracing system, right? This is what we show to analyze what is happening. The trend lines is a feature that is going to help you to see, okay, if some spans are out of the or are unusual. And then the typical flow is that, okay, I can go to a specific trace. Now I can move and navigate into the trace page. And in the trace page, I also keep in this correlation feature. I can show that, okay, this trace compare with the heat map of the telemetry. It has something in yellow, but other features, for example, this one, let me to see, okay, this one is in red, and I would like to get more details of what is happening, right? To click here, okay. And now I can see, for example, that okay, some spans are in red. In red means that if I compare the trace duration with the histotelemetry, this one is percentile 19 or something like that. So, and what to do from here? I can go, for example, to the workload logs, right? In the workload logs, I can combine the logs from the application. I can combine the logs from the envoy server. I can see, okay, this is, for example, entry from the envoy server that I'm requesting this server. And I can go as well to the details of the envoy for troubleshooting to see, okay, I would need to understand why a specific request for the envoy has been more slow than the usual, right? I can examine the rules they listed for the envoy, the low-level configuration, or I can go to more deep metrics about that, right? That Kiali can help you troubleshooting your network and your service. All right, so this feature is pretty cool. So please give us feedback. How would you like to see and how you can improve this kind of thing. Okay, so another improvements note to for this sprint. So we are still working in the cross namespace validations. Remember, Kiali add value to the creation of the Istio configuration to let the user to use the service mesh in an efficient way, and detecting that you can create Istio configuration that are pointing a non-valid host or duplicating, or you are pointing to workload that doesn't exist in your system. That can lead in some kind of problems. Right? So we are working there in more complex scenarios as soon as we were reported by the community. Also, another task that we did in the previous sprint is more maintenance task. So we are out on Istio type mapping into the Kiali model, Kiali backend. It's more implementation details, but we migrate to use now to the Istio.io client that goes dependencies, and the same way that we use the client that goes Kubernetes dependencies for communicate with the cluster in a more efficient, right? And I guess that is what you will see for this release. Remember, a lot of bug fixing, right? A lot of hardening work. A couple of features. That was for the public session. So now I'm going to stop the recording.